You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. It's the Washington Commanders pregame show. The Washington Commanders will be taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The game starts at 4:25 and it will be in Seattle. I'm Wole, joined by my co-hosts Glenn and Ray. What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling.
I know,
It
right?
feels weird, man. Feel weird to do a post game at this time, man.
I know. Late afternoon. I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like, yeah, it is wild, bro. Definitely wild. Real quick before we get into the actual content of the show, let's get into some particulars. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything and like us. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything and like us on and like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Hey, make sure to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit the red subscribe button and like this video. All right, here's the rundown. We'll chat with Commanders reporter Candi Waller. We'll debate if Sam Howell will have another 300-yard passing game. We'll talk about the Commanders secondary versus the Seattle Seahawks wide receivers. We'll debate whether Emmanuel Forbes should be on DK Metcalf. We'll also talk about the keys for Commanders' victory and predictions. Then finally, we'll select our Commanders fantasy football selection for the day. All right, let's get right into it. Right, we'll introduce our guests. Right now, we got Bowie TV president and Seawall Sports and Entertainment's Commanders reporter Candi Waller on the show. Excuse me. What's going on, Candi?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Candi. Happy Sunday. So
happy Sunday.
I just saw the active list, and it looks like Cole Turner is inactive. Does that surprise you?
You know what? No, it doesn't. Offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, when asked about the overall tight end group's usage, it's like, okay, it's the usage of the overall group is going up, but Cole Turner's activity has gone down. And what is that really about? And offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy said it in a nice way, basically that Cole isn't blocking, can't block all that. So, that is definitely a player I would like to see get more action. But I know we're mid-season, and I know what Eric Bieniemy is looking to see out of his tight end groups, and being able to effectively block consistently is something he is looking for, and that's something that Cole Turner has not done as of yet. So, unfortunately, I was not surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because he has such a good rapport with Sam Howell. You saw it in preseason, saw it even in a couple games in the regular season. But I guess I get it. You know what I mean? He has good rapport with Logan Thomas too. So it'd be good to see him on the field. Again, to me, a lot of people talk about this playoff word, but if you got a lot of young players that you kind of want to see on the field, and I think we're talking about grooming these young players, like we're doing on the defensive side of the football field. I think that, seeing a guy like Cole Turner in this type of season wouldn't hinder this. I think it's something that it'd be good to see and evaluate.
We've actually talked about, could he switch to receiver? Would that help? But
it's
all the different options to try to just get him on the field. But that's
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? If you're winning football games, your quarterback stand upright, and that dude's on the bench, you keep that dude on the bench, right? I don't care how much people like him. I don't care how much people love him. If it's working, the thing is to keep Sam Howell upright. If Cole Turner cannot block, and like I said, that goes with Cole Turner, that goes with Nick Gates, that goes with insert whoever, right? If they can't keep Sam Howell upright, they shouldn't be playing the game. Eric Bieniemy and this offensive coaching staff got it correctly. You can't do it. You can't fit in the scheme. Hey, sit down on the bench.
Yep.
My man, Glenn Cutthroat, man. My man, Glenn Cutthroat. You can't do it. It's on the bench. Dang, Glenn. Tell us how you really feel.
Hey, man, it's about winning football games, right? This coaching staff has to win football games. I'm not saying it's going to save them. I'm not going to mean it's going to keep them. But this organization, this team, Josh Harris, we talked about the $6 billion investment. It's about winning football games. And also, you got to remember this. Eric Bieniemy is still fighting for a head coaching job, right? So he wants to put his best foot forward. If that means sacrificing Cole Turner so he can get a head coaching job somewhere, that's what he's going to do. He's auditioning each and every week for a head football job. There's many parts to this.
The reality is Sam Howell had to stop taking all those sacks. like for real. Whether it was him holding on to the football too long or the offensive line not being able to hold up as long, I think the hard truth is we've seen a difference in offensive play since those changes have been made. Since Cole Turner not being out there, Nick Gates, Sadiq Charles, although he is injured, those three players not being active we've seen a difference in offensive play. I mean, it doesn't mean that, Sam hasn't taken any sacks, since the lineup has changed in that way, but he's certainly taken less sacks. And I think that those changes, whether or not it was between the right thing to do, everyone recognizes it. Eric Bieniemy said, okay, all right, these sacks have got to stop. We got some challenges here. We got to make a change.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm all about seeing young players, so I'm different now than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to talk about this playoff word. I'm all about seeing these young dudes play. So
that's what I wanted to say. Candi, is it not fair that we don't allow young players to develop and grow? My goodness, we want everybody to win right off Jump Street. When you're looking at guys around the league like Trevor Lawrence, he's the, I guess, best example. You need the time to develop, even though he's the number one pick. I mean, decorated college career, but Sam Howell is a really good quarterback, and I think that in order to maintain his confidence, you got to give him more time, man. He's still a rookie in my eyes.
I mean, well, yeah, I think they're trying to give him more time, but still put him and the team in the best possible situation to succeed. So if there's a way to find that balance, and a Cole Turner's got to sit on the bench in order for that to happen, that's what's going to happen. I mean, I'm a Cole Turner fan, and I would love to see more of him out there. But if blocking is the issue, I knew that, right? But I was just, we're going to act like we don't see it. So that, in Airbnb, he said it very nicely, and it was like, okay, he can't block. That's what this is about.
I feel you, man.
See, that's a perfect. That's how this is real Candi right here. See, Candi in the press box, she be like, I don't know, y'all. Let me just tell you this. Hey, you keeping it a buck now.
Same thing with Sadiq Charles, in my opinion.
Life isn't winning football games, so
right. I mean, same thing with Sadiq Charles. He shouldn't come back and get his starting spot back.
I was asked that question. Okay, what do you do when Sadiq gets better? I was like, say, I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you're better. But
I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you're well. Collect your check.
Is what it is.
That's funny because, like, in terms of being nice, usually when I'm trying to be nice, I'm saying that person's like a nice person. That's how I when I'm being nice about somebody's play, I'm like, that person's nice. That's a nice person. Like, that's how I go. Like, I'm like, that's a nice person. I don't say like they suck, or I'm like, that's a nice person. Like, before anything. So yeah, I just feel like, I mean, I like Cole Turner, so I think he's a good player. So it's not like I think he's a nice person. I do think he's a good player. I think he does a lot in terms of today's tight ends as a pass catching tight end. But I do agree, though. Like, it got to a point where you can't afford to have a dude who can block on certain plays, especially when Sam was getting hit. Like, he was getting mollywopped out there, man. We got to keep that dude upright. So I understand
he was on record pace.
I know. Now I was kind of chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with it. I totally agree with it. I think that it's good. Like, I just want to see the dude play, though. I feel like, dang. I mean, I don't think Logan's the best blocker in the world, but that's neither here nor there. But I know Logan got to play, though. So it is what it is. I mean, because Logan has been productive. This ain't a knock on Logan, folks. So don't try to go at me because I'm talking about Logan in a certain way. I'm just saying, like, Logan ain't the greatest blocker either. But I understand playing Logan over Turner because Logan has been productive. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's been very productive. So, Candi, for you, what is the key matchup that you'll be keeping your eye on?
It's the one I don't really want to watch, but I'm going to. I mean, the secondary going to have to get their money's worth today.
No last hope.
They might get work today, and so. That's what I'm going to be watching. I'm also going to be watching the offensive line against Pro Bowl defensive tackle Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams was with the Giants when he gave Nick Gates a day and a half.
He got him demotion. He gave him a demotion.
He got him benched. Leonard Williams is the reason why Nick Gates is sitting on the bench right now. Okay,
Nick Gates is salty.
Right, and they have to see him again now that he's with the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. So I absolutely want to see if there is in fact a difference in how Leonard Williams and that defensive line is handled, because he was single-handedly giving everybody an issue when they were at MetLife Stadium. It was embarrassing. So I'm gonna be watching that. And for real, the secondary. This is a day, because the Seattle Seahawks had such a bad game against the Baltimore Ravens last week that I don't have that happening 2 weeks in a row. I could be totally wrong, but who knows what type of time they're going to be on. I think they're going to make the rookies and the rest of the corners and Kendall, they're gonna make them work for it today. So this will be interesting. The defensive line will have to get pressure to alleviate as much as possible from them getting the ball out. This will be. I didn't get any of that last week, but Mac Jones is just not that good at all. So that was worked in favor of the Commanders' defense last week. I don't know if they're going to get that lucky this week. Honestly, seriously, and they still only won by 3 points. A win indeed, but it was still only by 3 points. And they still allow one of the lowest scoring teams in the league score 17. So this is going to have to be something they're going to have to want to win and put these games away in November. This is really critical time for this team. Winning today is important. Then they have 2 back-to-back division games in a short week, Thanksgiving week. So they're going, in order to win this, I keep saying mistake-free football, and we still haven't seen it, because they made some mistakes last week, right? Offensively, they were still able to win the game. But for once, can we see a full game of mistake-free football? I'm still going to always point back to that second half of the Denver Broncos game. We have not seen the Commanders play a full game like they played in that second half against the Denver Broncos. Today is going to have to be the day they really try to do that.
Yeah, I think that secondary.
Right? I'm looking at your face. Like, did I just?
No. You were good. You were great.
Okay.
Nah. You gotta ignore my face, man. I got some other stuff going on, man.
Yeah, I was watching San Francisco play.
I know that's what I'm saying. Jameis Winston, he just got inserted. It's
a lot going on right
now. Stuff on my mind.
I was looking at San Fran. I'm paying attention to Chase Young right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening to you, Candi. You saying exactly what I was thinking anyway, because we have not seen a complete game performance. But to me, that's been Coach Rivera's tenure, inconsistency. And that's the unfortunate thing about just the time that he's been here as head coach. I don't think we've seen a nice stretch. Wole always talks about how during the second half of the year, like right around this time, they'll make a nice little run to calm folks down and don't make the playoffs. So this is a prime Commanders game right here where they should get this W on the road. But Pete Carroll, you compare Ron and Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is somebody that you want as your team's coach. You know what you're going to get no matter who the personnel is. And I think that's the real matchup for me is the head coaches, man. Can Ron outcoach somebody? Head coach Rivera. I'm sorry, Coach Rivera. I don't call him Ron. I got to stop disrespecting.
Call him Ron.
I mean, that's a great point. I mean, like I said, we don't know what type of time the Seattle Seahawks are going to be on after the loss they took to the Baltimore Ravens. And so I don't have them. If they lose, it won't be like they did last week, and Washington will have to play a complete game in order to beat them today. They're not going to go out like they did last week.
That's important because I felt like Washington came out asleep against the Chicago Bears team that was so I want to say, well, first of all, they lost Dick Buckus that same day, but they were desperate for a win. So you got to know the mindset of your opponent. Seattle's looking to bounce back, and I hope that the Commanders don't come out sleepwalking, especially on the road with that crowd.
Very loud stadium.
Yeah. And I'm just looking for the D-line versus Seattle's offensive line. And this is a key, especially on third down, right? Third down, I want to see them on third down. Third down is going to be key for both teams because they both suck on third down as far as routine rankings. Can Washington defense get off the field, right? Put Geno Smith in situations where he has to make a decision. Stop the running game because we know they do have a talented running back. Keep things like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, no short yardage situations. And can Jack Del Rio dial up some blitzes, right? I'm interested in that is the linebackers too. How well will these linebackers play today in coverage? How well these linebackers tackle today? And so that's one of my key matchups I want to see. I want to see the linebackers versus the offensive line, and also the D-line versus offensive line. See if that can match up, which will help the secondary. If you add in pressure and you're getting pressure on the quarterback, making Geno feel uncomfortable, the secondary should be in a position to win today.
I mean, today is the day that you're going to have to hear Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne's name. I mean, you all mentioned it already. I mean, hey, if anybody's watching Red Zone, if anything, all you've been hearing is Chase Young. Nick, but I mean, and that's real. Like, I mean, that's real.
No lies. No lies.
We said that was going to happen.
Jacksonville Jaguars was a very good football team. Very good football team.
You know I'm coming because he's excited to play. Is a different.
No, it's because he's on a better team. Stop doing it. No, he's on a better coach.
No.
He's gonna have 30.
Excited to play.
He's already got over 10 sacks. He's got. So you know what? He has 5 sacks already, and he's excited to play. He's already one of the better sack dudes in the league, and that's 5. And y'all talking about he's bad with 5 sacks. He already dominated. He already fought the rubble.
But I'm saying he's happier now.
Bro, this is the thing. This is the issue I'm talking about when good players. I don't know why people do this with good players. We like hold them to a different accountability in terms of when you deem, not you, but folks in general, when they don't think they're supposed to be a certain way. Dude, he's got 5. No one talking ill about Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa ain't doing nothing compared to Chase this year. And no one said nothing bad about Nick Bosa. Why? Because they know he's good. That's what I'm saying. Like in this area, I'm not even talking about outside this area. In this area, like we the only ones who do this. Like I love Trent. I remember folks were talking negative about Trent at the time. We are the only ones in this area that does this. It blows me. It does. It blows me. Like I'm sitting here like Chase, and I'm watching Chase getting sacks and getting pressure. I'm like, yep, okay, yep, this is about right. He was doing the same moves. They allow him. He not standing up. He in the dirt. So obviously they're doing something different than Washington was doing. This ain't just off of Chase being at hype. He's even playing. They doing different stuff compared to what Washington.
Are they doing something different, or is Chase doing something different?
No, because Chase said it's an oppressor.
Is Chase making a decision? I'm gonna put my hand in the dirt.
Chase said it's an oppressor. Chase said it's an oppressor. He said an oppressor. Nobody denied it. He said they told me to stand up.
This Candi fault.
Defense.
Hey, Candi, this your fault, Candi.
I know it's my fault.
Folks don't want to be wrong, bro.
I'm going to keep saying it because I've seen, and Wale has an excellent point. For some reason, in the DMV, we like to write good players off. We like to write them off. I had so many people tell me Chase was washed. He was a bum. He was a bust and everything. And I'm like, yo, you got to take your football IQ card and burn it because there's no way you're watching. Like and these are most of these players. These are most of these players on this team. I said, you put a Terry McLaurin, a Jahan Dodge, you put them on one of these better teams, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Agreed.
They're going to use them and allow them to be operating in their strengths. That's what they're going to do. And I'm literally everything they show with Chase. I'm sitting here. It's like I want to cry a little bit because here's the thing. That's the same dude. Like that's the same guy. Like it's the same guy. It's him. That's him.
He's the James Harden of the NFL.
Okay, hold on.
No, now we're going a little too hard, bro.
No, that's way
and I'm saying he got ability. When you watch Chase's last few games in Washington, he wasn't a happy player. He didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
So now he's in. What I'm saying is he's in a place where he's happy. He's in a place where he's comfortable. He's in a place. Let's not forget, Chase is still playing for a contract. There's no guarantee that he will be with San Francisco next year. He just saw.
Nobody's going to be happy when you're losing. Like Chase didn't look any different than most of the Commanders players. They're in a bad situation until they're with It was not just Chase. Look at Jonathan Allen has had to lose his marbles publicly and walk out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I hope they come back to earth and help.
I'd be the heel today.
Glenn, listen to what he's saying. Listen to what Candi's saying. Listen to all the talent on this team, and they're not winning. Of course, you're gonna be miserable,
right? But they're not winning. Think about it. Okay, you got to ask yourself, and I've had some. If you're not winning, right? All the people we're talking about are defensive players, right? Yeah, it's facts. You're the worst defense in the league, and you're getting paid the most. So again, I wouldn't be happy if I wasn't performing at my job. I know. So they're not performing. So who do you blame? You
Jack
blame
Del Rio.
You blame you.
I blame the
Jack Del
coaches
Rio.
because I blame the coaches. The reason why I blame the coaches is because they love to tell these players to do your job, do your job, do your job. Do your job.
Mm-hmm.
You do your job, and part of you doing your job is utilizing the players where they are strong. Chase Young is not going to do a 180 in 2 weeks. Montez Sweat, when he did Thursday night, everybody posted the next generation, the next gen stats. They posted about him and this, that, and the third. I'd be like, Montez been that dude. That's been him. That's Montez. He's not going to change in a week. They're not going to do 180 in a week. The reason why they're there is because we have a coaching staff that thinks they're right about everything.
But it wasn't a coaching staff decision to let him go, though. Josh Harris pulled that call. He said,
"No. See, I told you had to.
As far as you got to get what it's the value. Let's be very clear.
But it's okay.
Those were the only players that they shopped.
Definitely.
That's the only players that got some value out of them. But they absolutely were not the only players that got shopped.
Oh, I mean, I never doubted anybody's talent.
You got to get back what's valuable. So from a business perspective, you done went down. You got swept by the division leader. You lost to the Giants. And truth be told, those two, if they didn't lose to the Giants and the Eagles, we're not having this conversation. Nothing changes because you very much are still in the hunt. You're very much still in the race, right?
But that's sad though, Candi. Because they still, even if they had won both of those games, because they were still close games, they still would have been ranked the 31st defense in the league.
Okay, so
right? Let's be honest. If they would have beat the Eagles,
but the only thing that matters is wins and losses. Only thing that matters is records.
So Glenn, it does go back to coaching, right? When Chase Young was out, the result was the same, correct? And also, if you look at how they handle things in the media, when the media and fans were bashing Cody Barton, Jack Del Rio came to his defense. They never came to Chase's defense, and it was always some leaks about, we don't like the commercials, we don't like in the offseason. To me, they ran Chase out even before he was traded because they made it clear that they didn't like his work ethic, they didn't like this, they didn't like his decisions. How come they don't do that to other players? It's certain people, even EB. Look at the message that Ron sent in the offseason to start. Well, the players were a little ruffled by some of the things he's doing. Why do that? That's what it comes back to me. I think across the board, it comes back to coaching. It really does.
Like Belichick never did it, right? Like Belichick never talked about his players. Belichick never encouraged his players or never said anything about his players to do. This is what I need. Like Belichick never told people to get out of town, right? When he wasn't producing in New England,
but he was winning
again. But if you think I'm not saying he is. If you as a coaching staff think you have a cancer or you have value of a person in the locker room, or you think you're planning for the future. Yeah, get rid of them now. Get the value that you have, and see what your team has.
I argue that at all. I think I agree with that. But again, who's making that decision? This is the problem. The issue is you have the coaching staff. Again, if it's Belichick, I'm for it because I know Belichick's track record. It shows me that it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about. I know what you're talking about, and I agree with you. If you're a coach, but it does go to a point if you're the coach to do that. Like I can be a coach, and I can be a coach in the NFL. I'll probably be a bad one. But if I ship somebody out like for instance a Trent Williams, I'm not using this example for that situation, like a Trent Williams, and I ship him out because Trent Williams ain't following what I want to do because I'm stubborn. It's my fault.
Oh yeah,
as a coach, it's my fault. It is. It's totally my fault. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to work with Trent Williams, a Hall of Famer, because I want to do things my way. We see this in basketball. We see this in football all the time. Players get shipped out. Great players. And we're talking about great players who played the right way, great players who may not agree with you, but you know what? It's my way or the highway. I'm shipping you out. Chip Kelly did it with the Eagles.
Yes.
He was shipping out great players. Mm-hmm. Those players still perform. They perform. So, yeah, we can say, like, all right, we're going to get value for them. But at the end of the day, it's that coaching staff's fault because they didn't utilize that player correctly. That's what it is. Yeah, if they're not following line to what I want to do, you're going to ship them out. I agree with that thought process. But again, that still puts onus on that coach. Yeah. That means what are you doing as a coach for that player not to be utilized in a certain way? So that's what I'm saying with Ron. Ron and his staff did not utilize those ends the way they needed to be utilized. So if you're Josh Harris, again, the record does dictate it. If I'm Josh Harris, those dudes are free agents. My defense is bad. I don't blame him for trading Chase and Montez. But again, that is not on Ja Harris did it because of the circumstances of the team. Again, and the circumstance of the team is on of that unit is on Del Rio and on Ron. That's the reason the trade happened. If those coaches coach better, Chase and Montez aren't traded. That's not a thing. But since they coach bad, Chase and Montez are now easy to trade because you can get collateral for something.
That's how you can definitely get something for them. I mean, they did,
That's how it works. Why are we talking about Chase and Montez? I feel like we're doing this too much. Like,
but at this point, if you're coaching a player, because again, and they're not performing for you or not listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chase, let's be honest. If we go back and do tape on the sacks that Chase Young missed, he might have had about 10 sacks right now before he even left Washington.
People miss sacks all the time. Montez missed a rack of
12 sacks.
Yeah,
because he got so many pressures. I'm not gonna lie. He
got pressures, right? Yeah. But that's not coaching. Put him in the right predicament. He didn't catch in.
So would you say the same thing about Montez Sweat? Because you're singling out Chase.
Montez
is the same thing. Montez does. I make the argument that Montez does more than Chase.
I'm gonna tell you all this. They were the most valuable assets in that locker room.
Who?
The two that got traded.
I feel like I'm saying.
I'm saying that based on the deals and what could have gotten done that didn't get done because value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were the ones that people wanted. Teams wanted.
Yeah, definitely. The ones that team wanted. If let's hypothetical. If this works out, I know Wally don't like the P word, right? He doesn't like the P word. But if playoffs,
oh god, I know what the word is. I know exactly.
So if this team makes it to let's say playoffs, get a 7 seed, lucky to get a 6 seed without Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Without Montez Sweat and Chase Young, what are the fans and people saying?
Well, I can tell you this. This was a wake-up call to Jack Del Rio. They took your two most valuable assets. You on the clock. This whole coaching staff is on the clock. So you're gonna see some differences. If it woke anybody up, it's the entire team. Hey, we got rid of Montez and Chase for value, not just one, because that was what people thought was gonna happen. Just one, okay, Chase, right?
That's good ownership.
Both of them. Oh, that means it's showtime for everybody. Okay, because we're gonna go and get our collateral now, right before the trade deadline, based on this record. Everybody got to come correct now. Everybody's got to come correct. That wasn't just the Montez and Chase dig, because truth be told, and then when you turn around and look at the deal that Montez got out of Chicago, well, then hey, you know that's value right there. If you are willing to trade in the middle of the season your two most valuable assets per team recognition on what value and who they would like to get based on value, then that means everybody clock is running. So I said, after that happened, I said I want to put everybody on notice. You will see a difference out of this team. Because that let everybody know who is in charge. All of y'all can go. And if you don't have value, if I can't get any assets for you, then I'll just release you or do something else with you.
And like, seriously, did it, and that's why you got great
everybody. This business now.
And that's why it's business. And that's what you like. That's why you like new ownership. Because they're willing to make the tough decisions, the unpopular decision for the betterment of the team down the road.
Let me tell you this. If you make the playoffs, you're going to have to see Chase. And he can be like, I know the offensive line.
Oh, listen, let me tell you something.
You see Chase in a couple weeks.
Let me tell you something. They see Chase in December.
Yeah, that might not mean a thing, though.
It probably won't mean too much, barring any injury. I can tell you all right here, right now, I saw Chase Young in a couple of practice go up against every single offensive lineman for fun. He switched I'm not even playing. He did it, and I was like, I cannot believe he's doing this. Like, I cannot. Like, now you picking, but he was lit. Switch, and then had the nerve to drop back in the linebacker and play that position too. Let me tell you something. They're gonna let him loose. If it's not gonna be pretty, and it's gonna be bad. I keep trying to warn people. If it barring any injury, it's gonna be bad against this offensive line.
Oh, they getting pressure on. They making.
They are tearing
up. They are tearing up Trevor. They are tearing up Trevor Lawrence right now, bro. They getting number pressure. They all eating right now. They're gonna
tear him to shreds.
They all eating.
He knows every single last one of them, and I don't know if I'm gonna laugh or cry because it's gonna be sad. And it would be sad in training camp. I would be like, oh God.
Look, we gotta stop talking about Chase. We're gonna.
All right, I brought him up. That's my fault.
No, it's all good.
When I get a red zone Sunday.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So Kane, I want to get your prediction on the game. No. Hey, what you have when in Seattle?
Bold predictions. Can Jonathan Allen get a sack? I need Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne to get a couple sacks for everybody, please.
They need to step it up. They need to step up.
Step it up. I want Terry McLaurin, hopefully, to have a big game. This is not the game that I want to see Emmanuel Forbes being left out there.
Am I the only one?
Hung out to dry. So the linebacker core is going to have to do much better as well. But in terms of pressure, and we're talking sacks, let's bring Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne back into the conversation because those are definitely two names that have not been talked about, not hearing about, none of the above in a long time, in a few weeks now. So they're going to have to be really active this game and disturbing the peace on that line. And let's go ahead and get the young guys involved. Remember, there was a lot of excitement around, okay, what's Casey Toohill, what's Jay Smith-Willis going to do? And we didn't hear much at all. Yep. They're going to have to come together and make it happen. We can't get the other two guys back. These are your guys. This is your unit. So play together and make it happen because this isn't Mac Jones behind center.
I'm telling you. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. What do you think is playing into Jonathan Allen being a little bit quiet? Deron has made some plays. I won't even put Deron in there, but why do you think Jonathan Allen's been real quiet this season? Because usually he's like really demonstrative, in terms of his play, and he's been very quiet.
I think it falls in line with some of the other things that we've discussed previously on this show. It's just are you being utilized and being told to do what you need to be doing? Or is there, that's one piece of it. Is there a concern? Is there a health concern about putting your body on the line for a team that's not going anywhere? It's a couple different things there, I think, that still have been unresolved from the Giants outburst at the game, the outburst after the Giants game. Okay. I would never say that he doesn't want to be here because that's not true. I believe he absolutely wants to be here and speaks very highly of this opportunity, but people, they want to win and they want to win convincingly. But hopefully he can be a part of that today. Okay, this is what you want. Let the change start with you and get your name out there because he's absolutely been quiet out there on the field. Yeah, he had a big stop. He and Khalil Hudson, the Atlanta Falcons game, but other than that,
he's been pretty quiet. Well, man, Candi, thanks for being on. You sparked a great conversation.
Started some trouble this on Sunday. Y'all, this is why y'all need me at the game. I be quiet and just,
Candi started everything today, man.
It's always love, man.
It's always love, man. It's always love. I love Candi, man. Candi's cool. Very good conversation. Hey, Candi, thanks for being on. We appreciate you as always.
All right. See y'all later.
All right. See you, Candi.
Bye.
Bye. That was awesome, man. That was good. That was a good segment. Then we went like about 30 minutes strong on just talk. I felt like 30 minutes strong.
Yeah.
Correct.
that was a problem, man.
Yeah, I know, bro. You ain't lying.
Hey, Sam Howell, though.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
he's the cornerstone of the franchise right now. Back-to-back 300+ yard passing games. Does he make it 3 in a row today, fellas?
Well, you start with you, bro.
So, man. I think he does. My problem is why are people still asking is this dude the number one quarterback? Yeah. Like this dude is the number one quarterback, right? This dude is your guy, right? He showed what else does he have to do to prove to you that he's the guy? Offense is going up, he's making better decisions. You can see the progression from week 1 to where he's at right now, that his passing yards is going up. Besides that bonehead decision last week, right? In the goal line, he doesn't make too many mistakes, right? But again, he's only played 11 football games, 11 NFL games. So I expect to have a mistake here or there, right? He's not supposed to be perfect. I mean, you even see Guys like Lamar Jackson made mistakes today, right? Throwing ball short. So again, you see that. So my thing is, why is people still questioning Sam Howell? I think it is another 300-yard day by receivers. The secondary of the Seattle Seahawks is not that great, and I think the running game will help Sam Howell a little bit more if they can keep him upright. We talked about that at the beginning. If they can keep Sam Howell upright, I think he does get another 300-yard game today. I think again, as he's been doing it. And what I like about the way Sam Howell's been getting his 300 yards, it hasn't been one receiver, right? It's been multiple dudes, 8 dudes, 9 dudes, 10 dudes catching the ball. You get a pass, you get a pass, you get a pass, you get a pass, right? And he's giving everybody passes. So that's what I like about Sam Howell.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think that this is a game though that Washington, he may not. I kind of think it's a chance, but it'll be in the low end if he gets it. But it's not. I don't think it'll be a bad game even if he doesn't get it. And I think that it's just a game that I feel like it's more predicated on them running the football. I think it's more conducive to them running the football. Seattle has a good young secondary, but they're kind of light when it comes to stopping the run. Granted, they did trade for Williams for the Giants, the D tackle, but they're a team that typically has issues trying to stop the run. And I think there's an opportunity to use B-Rob. So if this is a game you feature B-Rob and Sam Howell throws for like 250, I think that's a good formula to win the football game. I don't think there's a problem. I think Sam is capable of throwing for 300 yards against this Seattle Seahawks secondary? Yes, I think he's capable, but I just think that, in terms of what this matchup allows, I think this is an opportunity to utilize Robinson or utilize Rodriguez, utilize Gibson. I think there's a reason why, for instance, because Turner did play last week. He was active last week, and so today him not being active this week kind of tells me they may be heavy on the run. So I think that's pretty cool. I think this would be a good thing to be heavy on the run especially with Brian Robinson and Rodriguez in terms of trying to wear down the Seattle Seahawks front four.
I think that it comes down again to coaching. Right now, EB stock nationally is going up. It's heading up. While Patrick Mahomes' numbers have declined, Sam Howell's have been improved upon the last several weeks, and that's making EB look really good. You're going up again against Pete Carroll, who I respect highly, and I feel like they're going to have a good game plan to try to confuse Sam Howell and to try to take advantage of some of his weaknesses, one in which he's held the football. Now, I know it's been improved, but Candi made the point this is not the same team. However, Sam Howell has an arm, man. You can't teach that. You can't teach arm strength, and you can't teach accuracy, and he has a receiving core. So if Wole is right and he utilizes those weapons out of the backfield as well as his tight end, Sam Howell, I think easily could throw for between 250 yards, 350 yards today because I think they'll have an opportunity. Seattle's an excellent team. They're well coached, but at the same time, I don't see them blow many teams out. Typically, you hang around with them, and I think Washington coming to the game, Wole made the point early in the week, no expectations. You're actually underdogs. That bodes well for this Washington group for whatever reason. They seem to play more loose when they're not the favorite. So I like for Sam Howell to throw for a lot of yards because I just like his talent. And Glenn, I totally agree with you. There needs to be no more questions. You have a quarterback, and you need consistency at that position, especially in this town, because we haven't had consistent quarterback play over the course of years.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we mentioned, I think Candi mentioned the Seahawks wide receivers. They got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith, Jigba going against this Washington Commanders. This Washington Commanders secondary. I'm gonna start with you, Glenn. How do you think Washington will hold up against this wide receiver, the Seattle Seahawks?
If they get pressure, they can do well. If they don't get pressure and let Geno Smith set back there, it's gonna be a long day. And I'm not talking about DK Metcalf. The guy that I'm worried about is your Tyler Lockett, right? Tyler Lockett does everything for this Seattle offense. He cannot have a good day. He cannot get off, right? And so I'm being interested to see how Jack Del Rio matched this up, how the safeties are helping over top, to see who's on, where does he put Kendall Fuller, right? Is Kendall Fuller on Lockett? Is Kendall Fuller on DK Metcalf? Where does Emmanuel Forbes go? I want to be able to see what matchups he's playing today. And what the Washington Commanders are playing, 2 high, 1 high, cover 3, and which way they want to go. Because I don't think they can man up with these two guys. I think you have to be able to scheme it and play a little bit more zone than you do man in order to combat the Seattle Seahawks offense, wide receivers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough. Just if you watch the the game against the Patriots and you saw that Mac Jones had guys open, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't get any pressure on him, on Mac Jones. And I know a lot of people said that Mac Jones got the ball out quick, but if you watch the game, at times he didn't get the ball out quick. Sometimes he was holding the football and looking for a play to develop, and that team still and the Commanders' front four still didn't get any pressure. So to me, to your point, Glenn, it's like it's like, you know, have they improved on what they did last week? Because last week, granted, yeah, they only gave up 17 points, but there were plays out there to be had. So have they fixed that up, knowing that you're playing against a better passer of the football and a better wide receiver unit? You're playing, you know, two guys who got over 1,000 yards receiving in their NFL careers in the season, and then you got a rookie who a lot of people think is one of the better rookie wide receivers in football. So I just think that this is a situation, and they had some good tight ends too, and Noah Fant, who's an athletic tight end. And Parkinson, I think that's his name. Parkinson's, I think, is his name in terms of like the other tight end they have. So they have weapons all around the board in terms of their offense. So it's very important to put pressure on Geno Smith. If anybody who's watched Geno Smith over the years, and we said this on our podcast show during the week, anybody who knows Geno Smith, you got to get pressure on Geno. You got to blitz Geno. You can't let Geno sit back there and think, you know, him getting comfortable and let him air it out, especially this secondary that has shown to give up big explosive plays and have guys running open. So if you don't bring pressure, you know, you're gonna set yourself up. You know what I mean? This secondary, there is no, and this is not a knock on anything, there is no Champ Bailey in the secondary. There is no Deion Sanders in the secondary. There is no Darrell Green in the secondary. Charles Woodson, any of these all-time great cornerbacks out there on this team right now at this moment. So you got to bring pressure. You got to make it easy for these DBs to say, you know what, we can make a play on this ball, knowing that the ball's getting out there a little bit quicker, and these plays ain't developing for so long. So I just feel like it's essential for them to bring pressure. Now, I don't think it's a given. I think this is, if you had to tell me in Vegas odds, can Washington put pressure on Geno, it would be low. It'd be under 50%. Because I don't have confidence that they can get pressure on Geno Smith. They haven't shown us to do that, and especially watching that Patriots game, I'm gonna look at it like, what have they? They didn't show me anything in that Patriots game to say they can put pressure on the quarterback. So I need them to step up and improve.
Speaking of DB play, put a poll out there on X. Should Emmanuel Forbes get that work against DK Metcalf? 82.4% said no. Right now, fans do not have confidence. They do not want it. In Emmanuel Forbes. Again, he's a young player. Wole talked about young players getting a chance to grow and develop. I'm right there with them. But as a observer of this team, and of course we cover this team, you see an opportunity to make the playoffs, even if you don't win a division. Coach Ron wants to win as many games as he can, so he's going to do what's best for the team. And right now, I don't think that's putting Emmanuel Forbes on a top receiver for another team right now. But we'll see today. But the fans have spoken, my people.
Yeah, I mean, but again, for his confidence, this is a kid who had confidence issues. You put him in the best situation to make him successful, right?
Yeah.
You put him in the best situation to make him successful. I think because I've seen that this coaching staff, they're going to put him on DK Metcalf.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are, though. They definitely are.
They definitely are. And the thing is to see how Emmanuel Forbes stand up to it. And what is his leash, right? What leash do you give him on DK Metcalf?
It's wild because in the beginning I was like, no, don't put Emmanuel Forbes on DK. But then I was like, you know what? I'm not like everybody else. I'm not worried about playoffs. So I'm all about like giving this kid the opportunity to learn. Sometimes you got to be put in the fire. It's to a point now where I want guys on this squad to learn and become better players. So I'm like, put him out there, and let him taste it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, what's wrong with just having him on DK? If he gets beat, he gets beat. Learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, it's a season of learning for him. Like this can make him a better player in the long run, knowing that, you know what? All right, now I know how to check a dude like DK and AJ Brown. And truth be told, it's something to learn from. Now I checked the bigger wide receiver in AJ Brown. I think I kind of got it. So let me now try to put that into work and I get an opportunity to play another big wide receiver. This guy's actually faster than AJ Brown, but still I got to put it into work in terms of, all right, this is how I need to guard a bigger wide receiver. So at first I was like, nah, but now I'm kind of leaning to and saying, yeah, because I'm like, it's a learning experience. The same way we talk about why people get mad, why, EB has Sam Howell throwing the ball like 100 times a game, is because you're teaching Sam Howell. It's like, it's a learning experience for Sam Howell. He's getting to see multiple defensive looks. You know what I'm saying? He's putting himself in so many different environments, settings, and whatnot as a passer. So, and it's kind of, you see it kind of helping Sam Howell to a point where he's at now. Like now, okay, I gotta get the ball out quick. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. So he's learned from those mistakes. Same thing here with Emmanuel Forbes. It's an opportunity to learn from what he did wrong, or some of his errors in prior games. And why not go against some of the best? Right? We talk about it in all the sports. You don't get better until you start going against the best.
As D-Ho. As D-Ho.
Yeah.
D-Ho went up against T.O.,
Owens,
Joe
right?
Horn,
Yeah, exactly.
Steve Smith.
Yeah.
He got worked at times, but hey, Jim Moore Jr. was like, I'm leaving you a man. I'm trusting you to man up. And he started out as a rookie. I mean, coming out of Virginia Tech, he had high expectations. I think Emmanuel Forbes didn't have the same expectations, but he's got the talent. So I'm okay with that. But go ahead, Glenn, my bad, bro.
No, you're good. I'm just saying I agree with Wooly. I mean, give him the work. Get him to work.
It's kind of like
you got to see what you have, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You pick this dude high.
I like the matchup because
I like the matchup. And give him opportunity. We talked about earlier, early in the season. Emmanuel Forbes' issue has been that he's been trying to go for footballs and not try to tackle guys.
Yeah.
If you go back to the AJ Brown, he tried to go for balls and he got bit on double moves. Have you learned not to get bit on a double move? Have you learned how to read the hips? Have you learned how to? And that's how you get evaluated. And let's be honest, he didn't get that. I know everybody. I'm glad he came back, but it was against the New England Patriots receivers.
Yeah, exactly. So you won't. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, today's the test, then, right?
Today's the real test. Today's the real test.
Today's the real test.
But he needed the Patriots. So my thing is that he needed.
He needed the Patriots.
Because he needed the Patriots. So that's why I'm like, the Patriots kind of put you in a situation where you're now going to be confident to go against. You should be more confident to go against a DK Metcalf. Because you got something good to kind of work with. Because Ray likes to talk about it. He likes to use the term momentum. You have some momentum. You have some personal momentum going into a matchup with DK Metcalf. So I feel like, At first I was like, nah. But then I was like, you know what? What are we talking about? We ain't talking about no playoffs for real. So I'm like, let him get some work. Why not?
Just don't win. Just don't win. I don't care about playoffs. I think this team needs, because a lot of these guys are coming back.
Yeah,
Coach Steph may not be coming back, but some of the
players coming back. Exactly, I agree.
Players are coming back. Right?
I agree.
If players are coming back, let's see what these guys can do in these situations. Let's have fun. Let it be fun going down the road towards the end of the season and not be miserable.
I agree. I'm like, shoot, if I'm Josh Harris, I'm like, shoot, Ron, I'm playing that young boy. Like, what are you worried about, man? You ain't coming back. I'm keeping it a buck. All right, man. So let's get into it like real quick in terms of for you, Glenn. I'm gonna start with you. What are your keys for Commander victory?
Again, the dominance on the offensive line. Keep Sam Howell upright. Establish a running game against this defense and work some play action. That's one of the keys. And also, again, getting off the field on third down, converting third downs if you're watching offense, stopping Seattle on third down if you're watching defense, and putting the ball in your the offensive hand with good field position and see if they can continue to score.
Hey, Ray, your keys to a Commander's victory.
Man, it's very simple, man. You get the ball to Terry McLaurin. I feel like since that Philly game where he had those two crucial drops, I think that brother is motivated. He's already the heartbeat of your team. Get your best player involved, man. Get him involved early and often. And I think that's a recipe for success for the simple fact that, like I said earlier, I feel like Seattle's going to give you opportunities. As good as Seattle is, I think you'll have opportunities to win. And this would be a good win for a young quarterback like Sam Howell. Go to your best receiver, man. Jahan Dotson should have opportunities because Terry gets so much attention. And over the past several weeks, Jahan Dotson benefited. I think Terry's the guy. I think Terry's the guy this week. Book it. That's my fantasy pick too, baby. You ain't gonna ask me.
All right, cool. I'm going to ask you that question then. Hey, get the ball to B-Rob, bro. That's my thing. Feed him often. Like, I think this is the game for B-Rob. This is a B-Rob game. And look at Glenn. Next year, take advantage of it. Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah, Glenn, I'm making you proud, right, Glenn? Like,
yeah, you
B-Rob, man.
You ain't gotta ask me because my fantasy pick today was B-Rob. My fantasy pick today was B-Rob.
Oh, it won't ask you. See, y'all still. That's okay. I'll go with somebody else. But yeah, I think it's a B-Rob game. I think B-Rob. This is a game where I think he gets 100. You know, you want to give him 100 yards. I'm gonna use your thing, Glenn. 100 yards. This is the type of game where, you know, you want to win the time of possession.
Yeah.
You want to keep. You want to make those DBs for the Seahawks tackle. There's a lot of things like, you know, they got the young boy Witherspoon, who's been one of the better rookie cornerbacks in the NFL. But yeah, you just gotta, to me, make him tackle. I think he plays a nickel a lot, but make him tackle. Like run out of you know, spread sets, run out of tight sets. Use your fullback more. Like do what you were doing in situations last week against the Patriots, even though you threw the ball a lot, but in this game, run the ball out of that even more. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see them, you know, utilize the run game. Rodriguez, Robinson, Gibson. I think I just use that three-headed monster and then, you know, hit some play action off of that. So they can do that. I feel like that's a good recipe for a victory. Glenn, I set your keys already, Glenn? You set your keys already, right? Okay. Good. So in terms of, all right, predictions. I'm gonna start with you, Glenn. Give me your prediction.
Prediction today. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm saying Washington's gonna score 31 points. I'm gonna say 31-24 Washington. I just can't. This team doesn't blow anybody out, so it has to always be close. Right? It
would never be a blowout. This game will not.
Yeah, they never blow a team out. So I'm gonna say 31-24 Washington.
It's a blowout. The Seattle blows them out. Hey, if it's a blowout, it's gonna blow out for Seattle. Ray, your prediction, bro.
I picked the Seahawks, not gonna lie, this week. I picked Washington last week. I was the only one in multiple pools that picked Washington, so I'm not a Washington hater. I'm just letting people know we're watching.
No.
But I got Seattle winning. A close one. I think it's a 27-24 game. I think Washington's offense is a gimme now to score multiple touchdowns. It's not like the olden days of Scott Turner.
True. No lies told, right? I liked how you use that. No lies told. I chose Washington. I have Washington winning. I think I have 30. I don't know what the score I had with under the Doug thing, but I have Washington winning. I don't even want to say they had scored 30 because I feel like that's wrong anyway. Washington wins 27-24.
Same score prediction, just the opposite.
Yeah, 27-24. I just think that I like the importance of just trying to win the time of possession, run the football. I think if they do that, they'll be fine. If they can force the formula, like Ray said, like Gino's been turning the ball over, so they can force a couple of turnovers, win the time of possession. They can be fine. You know what I mean? But if they give them explosive plays, and then also the big key is like how does Sam handle? You know what I mean? Like the 12th man, obviously, how he handles the 12th man. So, but I do think if you run the football, you kind of can find a way to negate that just a little bit. If you run the football more, the 12th man won't. You can kind of keep the 12th man out of it. Is when you start to try to come up with the elaborate passing plays or whatnot, where the 12th man can kind of have that impact. So to me, run the football, and I think they can kind of get a 27-24. I don't trust the defense. I'm just saying 24 because I feel like the offense can kind of keep the defense off the field a little bit long because I don't trust the defense.
And for God's sake, stop those slow moving plays. Those extra where you throw into a tight end, throw into a tackle out of the backfield, everything that takes a long time. Time and place. Stay away from time and place.
Oh, to my Washington.
Washington. Stay away from time and place. And that's if you keep. He try to get. Sometimes the enemy try to get fancy, and keep moving, just moving, and run the freaking ball on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. God, dog.
Yeah, you're right. Run the ball. I think this is a game.
That irritates me, man.
I think this is a game to do it. I feel like their offensive line will allow them to kind of do all this. I mean, their defensive line will allow them to do all this, to be honest with you. I think they'll like the Seattle's defensive line will allow Washington to think about running the ball a lot more, in my opinion, just the way they play against the run. So, all right, so you already put in your fantasy football, folks. I'm gonna actually go with you know what? I mean, I'll go Logan. I think Logan will have a big fantasy football game. I think Logan will be a guy that will take advantage of some matchups with some linebackers. Shout out to Wagner. That's what Bobby Wagner is one of my favorite linebackers. But yeah, I think Logan will have an opportunity to make plays against some linebackers. So Logan in the red zone, a touchdown. I say one touchdown, and then I'll feel good, and I can gloat about my fantasy football selection.
I mean, he leads the team in touchdowns anyway, so.
I know, right? Logan. So I feel kind of okay about it. All right, man. So, hey, for folks who tune in, don't forget to tune into our post-game show directly after the game. We'll be on YouTube, Facebook, and X Live. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and go everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit the red subscribe button, like this video. Anyway, this has been fun. This has been dope. I'm going to blame Candi for having us heated up this thing about Chase, man. We was out here getting it. Thank you, Candi. I appreciate you for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I like positive banter, man. It's pretty cool to me. Anyway, You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out.